Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is LaGuerre, founder of X Potential, and today I want to share a little bit more around a very important practice that you'll find on your peak performance checklist. And this practice is a very simple practice, but because of its simplicity, it's often overlooked or easily forgotten about in our daily routines. But it's one of the most profound practices you can do to change your mindset subtly but surely, and to reframe a lot of the way that you view the world. And because of that reframe, start to attract and see more opportunities, more blessings, more good things in your life, and start a positive cycle of momentum towards bringing more great things into your life. In the 90s, early 90s, Oprah started to really champion this practice to her audiences, or to her audience as a whole. Specifically on her show, she would talk about this practice, and she actually claimed that this practice was one of the practices that she found was most responsible for the success that she had in her life. If you don't know Oprah's story, she had a really tough upbringing at first, really rough start in media, but turned it around and became this massive mogul on a different scale. And she attributes this, a lot of her success, to this practice. So what's the practice that I'm talking about? What is the thing that even Oprah says is most responsible for her success? That practice is the practice of gratitude. The practice of gratitude. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 8 things, 8 reasons why gratitude or will improve, give you psychological and emotional benefits in your life, and help you to create more, manifest more of what you want in your life, whether that's in career, whether that's in health, whether that's in relationships. This practice, often overlooked because it's such a small, it takes a couple of minutes to do, but it's often overlooked. But if you stick with it long enough, 30 days, 40 days, and beyond, but at least 30, 40 days consistently, I promise you, you will see a massive shift in your world. So let's dive into the first item. The first reason why gratitude should be practiced regularly is because it increases happiness. There's a lot of studies that show that when individuals focus on gratitude, it changes their outlook on life. Where they used to maybe see a lot of negativity, by flipping and starting to practice paying attention to gratitude, you start to notice more of what good is happening in your life. What are more of the positive emotions, positive things happening that you can pay attention to. Right? So it starts to change the way that you see the world. I always love that quote that says, when you change the way you see things, the things you look at change. Paraphrasing it somewhere there. All right. All right. Second thing is that it improves mental health. There's a lot of studies that show that by regularly practicing gratitude, you can reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying that anxiety or depression is not clinical. In some cases it is, but in a lot of cases, I find that we've latched onto this word, or we've latched onto that emotion as a state of being. When it's an emotion for most of us, for some folks, yes, it's clinical because it's ongoing and they may need medication. But for a lot of folks who use it or latch onto the word, yes, it's an emotion that we all experience at times, depression, anxiety. But for most of us, it's not a state of being. It's only a state of being or consistent being because we have not done the work to reframe how we view the world, how we view our lives. So when you practice gratitude, you can improve your mental health as well. Number 3 reason to practice gratitude is that it really will enhance your resilience. And what do I mean by this? Is that when you can learn to see the good in everything, when you can learn to find something to be grateful, even in failures, even in being laid off from your job, even in not being able to pay your rent this month, when you can start to find, okay, well, what's good about this? What can I be grateful for in this moment? And maybe, listen, sometimes it's not about, hey, what can I be grateful about this thing that really sucks right now? But sometimes about what can I be grateful for generally in my life right now, despite this really bad thing happening. When you develop that muscle, it makes you more resilient. It helps you to be able to push through tough times, to push through challenges, and still continue to fight on with the sense of faith that things will get better, right? I've noticed for myself that this practice of gratitude over the years has really been pivotal for me, overcoming challenges, overcoming being in trouble when I was younger, overcoming really not having a good head on my shoulders as a teen and a young adult, and kind of just being out here doing whatever, as I started to practice gratitude, as I started to do a lot of personal development, it helped me to just have a more positive outlook on life, even though I felt like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going in life in my career. I started to get that sense that things would work out, things would be better because I started to really hone this focus on, well, what can I be grateful for right now? And for the first probably few months of practicing gratitude, I always would go back to, well, I'm alive. I was able to eat today. So really a lot of those basics, but what it did was it helped me to stay grounded to what was important in life. Right. Number four of why it's important to practice gratitude is better relationships. By expressing gratitude to the people you're in a relationship, one, that creates a better bond with you. People love when their friends, family members compliment them or just have that positive expression towards them. Don't we love that when somebody just sends us a random message saying, hey, I appreciate you because of this, or when you can genuinely feel that someone's grateful for something you've done for them? Of course you do. And what does it do? It makes you want to do more for them. So just by practicing gratitude to your loved ones, you can improve the relationship. Another way that I found personally, and I don't do this all the time, but I try to, and when I do, I find it definitely creates a change in energy in my marriage and even my relationship with my daughters, is trying my best not to take those relationships for granted. We become often hedonic adaptation principle says that those things that we are most often with, we become most used to it. We take it for granted. And so with that, what I notice is when I can be on top of this practice of expressing gratitude in a deep, meaningful way, not just, oh, thank you, but hey, I really appreciate when you did this because of this, really letting them see where the impact is. It just creates a nice energy in the house, in the relationship, in my marriage. And yes, it's not something I do every day, but even tapping into it once a week, once a month, it really creates a nice energy change in those relationships. So I encourage you to practice gratitude around your relationships, and those folks that you are most often connecting with or in communication with, because most often without even realizing it, we can take those relationships for granted. Number five is it creates an increase in self-esteem. Oftentimes, especially when you're on this personal development path, we tend to focus on what we don't do right, what we're not good at, right? We say, okay, I want to improve myself. And we create this subconscious or even conscious list of all the things that are wrong with us. Okay, I'm overweight and I don't speak in public well and I'm not really great at my job and I don't have a partner and I don't run fast enough and all these things, rather than focusing, hey, what do I do well? And there's a lot of science that shows that you do more to grow building off of your strengths rather than focusing in on your weaknesses. So by expressing gratitude for what you're good at and what you do well, it creates a greater sense of self-confidence and self-esteem because you have this feeling like, hey, I'm really good at coding. Maybe I don't speak in public well, but I'm really good at coding and I add a lot of value to my team and my company because of that. And you focus on being good at that, and then you start to work on these other areas that you want to improve, but you keep at the forefront of your mind your gratitude for this skill that you have, this ability, this value that you bring in this area. That's going to do more to build your self-confidence as you really sit there and dive in and go below surface level of gratitude with this. So that's going to do more to build your self-confidence, more to build your self-esteem, which is only going to make you feel more encouraged and motivated to work on developing a new area of skill or work on improving in another area. Now, instead, if you start with that list of, okay, this is all the places I'm broken and messed up and I need to work on, you're gonna find yourself at the bottom of a Ben and Jerry's ice cream tub, in front of Netflix because you've discouraged yourself by focusing in, putting that magnifying glass on everything that you don't do right. Right? Number six, it improves physical health. It improves physical health. There is research that shows that those who are more grateful, who tend to practice gratitude and have a better sense of gratitude, will do more to take care of their physical health as well. They'll go seek medical care when something's wrong. You'll be surprised how many people walk around with pain or aches and illnesses and know that something's off but never prioritize going to seek medical care. Why is that? Why is it? Outside of maybe not having insurance, which in the US, that's for most, it shouldn't be the case, but I know there are a lot who are unfortunate. But I'm talking about folks who are employed, folks who have insurance. So why is that? There's a sense of lack of appreciation for self. So it'll improve your physical health by helping you to view yourself differently. Um, It'll also help you to have better sleeping habits as you'll have a more peaceful mind. It'll, once again, you'll feel more encouraged to exercise regularly as you're viewing yourself differently. So we're starting to see as we address the frame of mind through which we view life, right? Whether it's we're viewing life more optimistically or more pessimistically, that's going to affect the habits that we keep. It's going to affect the way that we care for ourselves, right? It's going to affect the way we view our daily lives. Number 7, it creates a reduce in materialism. What this means is that as you become more grateful for what you have, staying in this present moment of what you already have in your life, there's a less craving or feeling of lack based on material things. You know, one of, I think, the biggest pitfalls of social media is that it creates this sense of where a lot of folks start to compare themselves. They're looking at people's highlight reels and saying, wow, this person has this, I don't have that. It creates this gap thinking, right? Gap thinking. If you read Dr. Benjamin Hardy's book, The Gap in the Game, he talks about this. And it's the idea that in comparing yourself to others or comparing yourself to an ideal of, oh, I wish I should be here. I set this goal to lose this amount of weight. I should be here. You start to live in this space called the gap, this space of not having. And that becomes discouraging. That causes you to even start to self-sabotage in some senses. That causes you to give up too quick, to quit before you've even had a real chance to attain the goal. So by focusing on the present moment more in what's you do have in this present moment, you create a reduce in the focus or the feeling that you need these material things to feel successful or to feel happy, and realize you have happiness now. You have things that make you happy now. You have things that fulfill you now. But because of this hedonic adaptation principle, please look that up. We have started to become just so comfortable with what we have, so used to it. It feels like just anything else, and we take it for granted, right? Think of some of the things we take for granted. Breathing clean air. And I know it's not 100% clean, but being able to breathe air and not have to go outside wearing some type of mask, right? Being able to walk, a lot of folks even take for granted, including myself. Like, we just do it every day. We get up and we do it. And when I think like, hey, this is a blessing. There are people who were born and were never able to do this. And I'm not saying to focus on that, because then that can slip you down the slide the other way. But taking a moment to realize that there's so much to be grateful for, even if you're, once again, you've been laid off, even if you are living in a one-bedroom room or apartment, there's still so much to be grateful for. And if we can bring our minds back to that, it's just going to create a better internal state of being for us. And then the final thing, number 8, is it creates greater mindfulness. So once again, it creates that deep connection with the present moment, and it helps you to just be attentive to the positive aspects of your life. What is happening now in my life can I be grateful for? You'll see when you follow, and if you haven't already, please be sure, click the link in the description for this to get your free peak performance checklist. But if you see excuse me, number 9, I'm gonna act like I don't have this handy dandy coffee. As in all my videos, I always have a cup of coffee ready to go, and I do drink my water. So just a quick side note on that. Let me know in the comments if I annoy you all with my coffee drinking. I just love coffee. It's one of the greatest things I think that exists. But as you'll see, back to our peak performance sheet here, checklist, number 9, the final, and it's intentional that if you're following this in order, why the final item here is asking yourself powerful questions, because our brains are designed to answer questions. They're designed for structure and designed to answer questions to solve problems. So if you ask yourself the right questions, you'll be amazed at what comes up. And those answers will be those next steps, those next clues as to where to go next in your life, on your journey, whatever it is you're trying to create or manifest in your life. And so ask yourself those powerful questions. And in asking yourself one of those questions, actually we'll do this up at number 3, expressing gratitude. You're not just saying, oh, I'm grateful for this, for this, for this. Otherwise, it would be a 1-minute practice. The reason why it's 5 minutes there is that you want to ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? Or what am I grateful for right now? And give yourself a moment to reflect. Give yourself a chance to go deeper than surface level. Because if you're just saying, okay, gratitude, boom, I'm grateful for my kids, I'm grateful for my house, I'm grateful for my job, next. There's more there. Let's go deeper than surface level. So you want to ask yourself the question and sit in reflection, silent reflection, or maybe some light instrumental binaural beats playing or light instrumental music playing in the background. And you want to give yourself a chance for your deeper self, your subconscious to answer. Let those answers come up, and it's going to help you to see and hone in on and connect with things that are maybe not top of mind for you, but in truth, feel back, you know what? Yesterday, this person, paid for my coffee at Starbucks. Like it happened, and you didn't even really register it, and then you're thinking, wow, that was really great. Wow, that was really confirmation that things are going to start to turn in my life. Someone hasn't done something that random and that nice for me in such a long time. And so then now there's a deeper level of appreciation and connection to life, to gratitude, to this present moment, right? So those are the 8 things. I'm going to go through them again, rapid fire style, just to recap. 8 reasons why you need to be practicing gratitude every day in your life. Number 1, it increases happiness. Number 2, improve mental health. Number 3, enhance resilience. Number 4, better relationships. Number 5, increase self-esteem. Number 6, improve physical health. Number 7, reduce materialism. And number 8, greater mindfulness. All right. So get yourself a gratitude journal or just in your regular journal. That's how I do it. Keep one journal for everything. Every day, you're going to practice 3 things. You're going to ask yourself that question: what can I be grateful for now? Ask yourself that question. Give yourself that 5 minutes, that space to go deeper than surface level. Stick with that for the next 30 days, and you'll be amazed at how your life changes.